Hello, hello. Oh, baby, thank you. And I beat Frank.
Oh my
beat you, Frank.
Is it? What the hell are you
Get that
drinking
shit,
from?
bitch.
Does that say Beetlejuice? Is that a Beetlejuice mug?
Yes, I'm drinking from a ceramic mug.
That's beautiful, man.
It is.
That's
That's why I
cool.
bought it.
It's so gnarly.
I got so fucking excited when I saw it too. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Well, because it's not obviously Beetlejuice, really, until you read the name on it.
Yeah, because what happened? Yeah, I was checking out at Spirit Halloween, which for some reason they only have one in all of McAllen. Yeah, I'm like, how am I gonna suck this year? So I was in line to check out, and you know how they have all these fucking things, like fucking $5, $10 things, and
Sure.
I saw cups, but I saw a Sam cup, Sam from Trick or Treat, you know, and my sister's really into that. I guess I got her into that because she's like, oh, my childhood. So I saw that, and yeah,
Oh, my childhood.
yes, and then she's like, oh no, you're already buying all this, and I'm like, it's Halloween, fuck it. So I give it to her, and then above it or next
Like your
to it,
Christmas, right? You
yeah,
put the fuck it on when it comes to the budget for Halloween.
yeah, and I see next to it or above it, I see Beetle Guys, and I'm like, oh my god, and it's
Why do you say that?
yes, it's just because that's how Alec Baldwin read it, Beetle Guys.
I'm
And
aware.
yeah,
but
and then in
still.
the back it says Beetlejuice. So,
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Well, it's because it's not in English, Beetlegeist. Like that's how you're supposed to spell Beetlejuice, I think, in like the language that they pulled it from, I think. I can't
yeah, I
remember
think
what Beetlejuice means. I feel like there's like or like when it's spelled like that, I feel like I had looked it up once, but I can't remember.
okay. So yeah, I think that was the joke that oh they can't say his name right, so he has to misspell it so they can pronounce it right because he can't tell you his name. Like you have to know.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, that's a good workaround though. Beetle Bailey. Anyway, so speaking of Alec Baldwin,
Yes.
I shouldn't laugh so fucking hard at it. It's a terrible thing that happened. Yeah, so you wanna recap what's going on with Alec Baldwin today, or not today?
So yeah. So apparently, uh, Hollywood blanks look a lot like real ammo.
Now that's a stupid thing right there alone, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't have you ever looked into what blanks look like? I never have.
Um, I've seen. I don't remember what movie it is, but they show a close up of the gun being shot, right? And it looks like the blanks that the military uses. You know, where it's like instead of it having the actual bullet, you know, the little
Mhm.
spear, it's closed. The brass is closed into like a little star.
Like it's like a shotgun shell essentially, right?
No, it's the casing to a regular
No,
bullet.
no, I know, but the way that it's closed, like you said, that little star folded in star, that's how a
Yeah,
shotgun
it's
casing.
folded in,
Mhm.
right, shaped like a little star.
And
Those
it's,
are the
it's supposed to be gunpowder and the primer, right? The wad or whatever, primer, gunpowder, and wad.
yeah. So that's all it is. It's just the gunpowder, and then the pin is gonna hit the back of the casing, right? And
Mhm.
that's what makes the spark, and that's what makes it go bang.
Right. And so how do they? I mean, this is what upsets me is that Alec Baldwin was such a huge like anti-gun guy. But then if you're any child in Texas knows if you play with any fucking gun, you practice safe gun handling. You don't give a kid a BB gun and let him go shoot his friends in the ass with it, as much fun as it is and as much as we all did do that as children.
I never did.
Shh, neither did I. So we know not to do these things. And on a set, like I don't give a shit. Like if they weren't recording, were they even recording at the time? This was just like bullshit, right? Like there was no need for him to point it at anybody.
Well, no, I think that was the scene. I think what was going on is
Right, but nobody's going to be able to tell if you're pointing at their head unless they're like directly behind you. Like you aim off to the side. You don't aim directly at the person. Like you would think people would have learned this in Hollywood after watching fucking Brandon Lee get shot in the fucking face.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you see Desperado, there's a scene where Antonio Banderas, Tony Flags, fucking gets up from the floor.
Antonio.
Yeah,
Banderas.
shooting his guns, right? But he's shooting them at the camera, and so you can see the lens of the fucking camera fall as he's shooting. So like,
Okay, now again, I understand if it's like that kind of shot, but
Right.
there was no cameras on at the time, right? We don't have any video evidence of this shit, do we?
well, we don't know. We just know that it's a scene, and that
But okay, it's a scene. The scene isn't to shoot the people behind the camera. Like you're shooting people in the shot, right?
well, maybe the shot was shoot
Over the camera.
over the
Again,
camera.
if you have to aim, you either aim directly at the camera, in which case you're not shooting anybody but the fucking camera, you fucking idiot. I'm just mad because if you're gonna say there needs to be further gun regulations, then maybe anybody doing a fucking weapons thing in a movie should be properly trained with the weapon. Like Keanu Reeves wouldn't have made this mistake, is what I'm saying, because he's gone through proper gun handling, gun safety training.
Yeah,
Will Smith would not have fucking done this. This was a fucking liberal Alec Baldwin, and this is coming from me, man, the yogi of the fucking show. Fuck that liberal piece of shit.
So yeah, there's a video that circulated.
I mean,
around
I didn't
that
like
time.
him when he fucking called out when he cussed out his daughter or something, all drunk, calling her like a fat pig and shit. I was like, Jesus, you don't remember that?
Nope.
That was like 8 years ago, dude. He was like super drunk and looking at the camera like, you fucking fat pig. You're just like spitting at the camera. This is not a role. Let me grab my coffee. Keep it going.
Yeah, so there's a video that was circulating around that week of Will Smith. I don't know if it's from his YouTube channel or from his TikTok, but yeah, there's a table with guns, and then somebody picks up a gun, and he flags Will Smith. Like he moves the gun to where it's pointing at him, and Will Smith slaps the
Immediately
gun, takes it away
doesn't
from
slap
him.
it. He like directly pushes it
Yeah,
like military style, like grabs it, checks the chamber, and then hands it back to him. It was so incredible. And I love that it didn't look, he looked like genuinely upset, like that's what you're supposed to do. This is proper gun handling. That's my point. Like, you don't see the guys that are, I mean, Will Smith is pretty damn liberal too. I'm sure he's got some things to say about gun control too. But
Yeah.
he's still taking the time to learn.
Yeah, he's done a handful of action movies, so he knows this is he knows the power of a real fucking gun.
He was a bad motherfucker in Deadeye, dude.
Yeah,
As
so-
Deadeye, fucking great. It was one of my favorite superheroes. I like him better than what's.
Oh,
his
you mean
fucking name?
Deadshot? I thought you meant the movie.
What did I say? Oh, what did I say?
Dead
Did I
Eye.
not? Deadeye. Oh, because I was thinking of the Red Eye. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, Deadshot. So I like him better than
Idris Elba.
who did Colin Farrell play?
Oh,
Daredevil.
he
Daredevil.
was Bullseye.
Bullseye. What a shithead. I hated his character, which, they say that that's an argument for a good actor. If they can actually make you hate them in their role, then they're doing a good job at it.
Well, that's the thing that with Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell. Yeah, Disney was because everybody was hating on him because he apparently people were like, "You're not the real Captain America," but people were hating on him. So then Disney was like, "It's the sign of a good actor. He's so good at his role that you hate him because of his role."
No.
I'm like,
You have to hate the character, not hate the actor.
I'm like, no.
If it's a lovable character that you're supposed to enjoy, the goal isn't to hate the actor, you motherfuckers.
No, because I'm like, no, the guy has a punchable face. That's the problem. Like, you see him and you're like, you got bullied in high school, did he?
Well, you gotta think, you get bullied at some point in your life by somebody. I feel like everybody gets that. If you don't get it from a family member, you get it from like your wife.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. If you don't get bullied your entire life, you're gonna get bullied by your wife.
You marry a bully. I think that's how that works. Yeah, the math checks out on that. I think. So shit, man. Hey, did you ever watch Monster Squad?
Is that the Monster High movie?
No, no, it's the '80s film where
Oh yeah, with the Universal monsters like Dracula and all that shit.
yes,
And they
yeah,
go
and
trick or treating. I may have, I don't know, cause I saw some bits of it because I was seeing some documentary, I think it was, and they showed bits of the movie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I've seen this. I don't remember. It was so long ago.
it's so terrible.
Yeah, because they were saying like this is the original Avengers, and I'm like, okay.
Wow, that's a statement. All right. All right. Well, since you haven't seen it recently, we'll move on from that. I tried to watch it the other day with Jacob while he was here, but we just couldn't. We couldn't focus on it. It just wasn't. It was so slow to begin with. I really did like the like the cool guy leather jacket wearing older kid that they get to join the squad. But yeah, I digress. You haven't seen it, so I'm talking to a wall here.
Oh, and then the other Halloween movie, Hocus Pocus, that everyone fucking like. It's a big deal to everyone.
Well, that was annoying. That's annoying for me this year because that's what my sister and my wife made our gender reveal party theme. So I got burnt out on Hocus Pocus this year. We watched it that day and then I haven't seen it since.
Some ABC channel, I don't remember which one. IFC, ABC Family, I don't know, but some ABC channel posted their Halloween list, their Halloween playlist, and it's like Hocus Pocus every other day and then twice on Halloween. And I'm like, oh my God, like you're gonna bore yourself from that fucking movie. Like,
I mean, arguably, there are people that do like the like Fast and the Furious weekends where that's all they play all weekend, right? On like FX and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. That it suits some people. Like some people like the Christmas movies all day. Like you just get the same three. It's like A Christmas Story, Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation, and what's the other one? Like there's Jingle All the Way. It's like those three on repeat on every other channel. Right? Home Alone. Home Alone's another one. You get the Home Alone.
Oh, so you know that there's a new Home Alone movie coming out.
All right, but we can't talk about it. We gotta save that for Christmas.
Okay, save that for Christmas.
But you know it's gonna be a Christmas movie. It has to be.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that
hey, you're not dressed up for Halloween. I just put on my costume.
Coraline is
great movie.
Is on Amazon right now, apparently. So yeah, check it out if you haven't.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but I'm telling the audience, check it out if you haven't seen it.
Oh, Coraline's a creepy one, man. It's one of those that's like it's borderline like too much for certain kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they come out all gang. Well, no spoilers. Not for Halloween. Anyway, a Halloween movie that is not considered a Halloween movie, but you watch it around this time. Do you have one? Because I just watched one yesterday that I'd call out.
Well, here's where I'm gonna reveal myself. But for the past few years, like on Halloween, I always see Trick or Treat, and that's probably where my sister was like, "Oh,
but that's a Halloween movie."
Yeah, but that is a Halloween movie. But no, because like I want to say Freddy Krueger movies, any of them, because you know they're
again
not
Halloween movies.
Yeah, but they're not set on Halloween. There's no Halloween theme. There's no.
I'm pretty sure they are. Well, it's like Friday the 13th. Technically, it's definitely nowhere near Halloween. Halloween's never on the 13th, so
right.
But there's still like Halloween horror movies. Like I said, they're considered horror movies. So my examples would be what I watched yesterday, Teen Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not really a horror movie, but there are elements where like he's freaked out, like, and it is a transformation scene. It is a werewolf. It's one of those like not really a Halloween movie, but it fits the genre of it. You know, Beetlejuice. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, there you go. I'll give you Beetlejuice.
It's not a Halloween movie. It's not scary,
not at all.
But there's horror elements. It's very Tim Burton.
It's just a Tim Burton movie. Yeah, good on you. That's a damn good call. But like his other ones, like Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, I think all those are still a little more in the Halloween realm.
I don't know why that's a huge debate. If Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie or a Christmas.
No, it's both.
Yeah,
it's just both. It's a holiday movie.
That's why I see it on Black Friday or fucking the night, Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, it was such a big thing for so much of our childhood. I almost don't have any affinity towards it anymore.
Yeah, so I tell people, I'm like, the Nightmare Before Christmas is actually a Dia de los Muertos movie because it's like you can see it
I like that. I
the
like
day
that.
after Halloween, or you can see it on November 2nd.
That's a good call. Yeah. So what do you think of the talking about the Dia de los Muertos movies, like cartoons that have come out, like Coco and what's the
I
other one?
barely saw Coco like 2 weeks ago.
Fucking beautiful, right? Like cinema,
Yes.
like picture wise, like the
Yeah.
colors, the way that it's animated is absolutely beautiful. All of those Dia de los Muertos movies tend to be like just gorgeous. All the colors, man. And nighttime and then bright colors. It's a psychedelic trip every time.
Probably the fall colors, but okay.
Well, no, it's that vibrance of like the flowers and all the decor that goes along with the other Muertos.
Yeah.
It's not just, I mean, it tends towards the autumn. Anyway, you're getting, fuck you. I hate it when you do that to me. You get bogged down in something totally ancillary to the point I'm making, and then I go on a fucking tangent because of you. Anyway, the Goonies. Goonies is another one.
I never liked the
that one.
Goonies.
That one seems more like a general fall movie though. Like you could watch that from October to December, and it's still kind of set in there. What else reminds me? TV shows from back in the day that always think like I guess because I feel like every scene from it looked like it was set in like late fall or autumn maybe. Anyway, it was Pete and Pete. You ever watch that?
I remember
the kid with Petunia tattooed on his arm.
Yeah, that was so long ago.
Yeah, man. No. This is like 94 or something, man. I loved Pete and Pete.
Yeah, I barely remember Pete and Pete. I don't think I ever saw a full episode, but no. What was I going to tell you? I don't know.
Well, great. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Okay. Here's why I forgot to fucking let you know when I got home. So I got home, right? I parked and I'm like, okay, I gotta let Tony know that fucking I just got home. And I'm like, no, let me do a fucking quick workout, shower, and then I'll fucking let him know. So I did that, and then I was on Facebook for some fucking reason before I got in the shower. And I was like, oh, that's right. Dune came out. I don't know why the fuck it's such a big fucking deal. So I'll watch it after I shower. And then
I love I mean, you read the book, right? The books?
Nope.
Is it a series? I've read that's not Asimov, right?
I don't think so. I don't know. But anyway,
I don't remember who wrote Dune.
So the point is that I've been doing a little protein diet and lifting a little weights so I can get a little big or big enough so I can pull off the scorpion look, because I was gonna be OG Scorpion for Halloween. And I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, and then I saw it on Amazon. I'm like, oh, it's available again because it was sold out for the rest of the year.
You'd be better off doing like today's Venom with just the Eddie Brock jean jacket hoodie thing and then just the mask on.
Oh, I'll probably do that next year. Thanks for the fucking tip. But anyways, no, so then I saw that it was available and I was gonna get it here fucking relatively soon. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just wait till I'll buy it on the 15th, after I get my next paycheck and all that other bullshit. Mm-hmm. So then around the 20th, I think, I was like, or between the 15th and the 20th, I'm like, oh shit, I said I was going to buy it. I look at it, right? And it's still available, but it's not going to get here till fucking Christmas. And I'm like, why? And yeah, so it's
COVID, baby. COVID.
Yeah, no, it's Joe Biden's fucking
birthday?
No, the not a blockade, but like the shipyards. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, what's going on with that? I saw that truckers are posting like, look, y'all keep blaming truckers. This is a shipping issue. This is a crating, right? Is it just lack of workers at the docks?
No, that apparently, so this goes back to China being behind in production of everything because they shut down for a whole year, right? Which is, reasonable.
Go figure, that caused problems?
Yeah, and so then apparently the ships are being held, right, for some apparent reason. So then there's a pileup. and so then recently, the most recent thing I heard was that California enforced the mandate that if you're not vaccinated, you don't work. So they applied it to truckers. Like if you're not vaxxed, then you can't drive. So then a
Yeah,
lot of
but that's it.
truckers.
Is that state or federally mandated, or is that like a company decision?
No, that's a state mandate.
Because aren't they doing the same thing with the airlines right now? That's the problem why airlines aren't getting off the ground because the pilots are boycotting because they don't want to get their vaccines. But I mean, if they allow them, then that's how is that going to work? It's got to be a company decision. I don't understand how they can force anybody to do anything.
Yeah, because
That's fucked up. I
Biden
believe
says,
everybody. I believe in freedom of choice. Like,
yeah,
if there are too many kids going to my son's school that aren't vaccinated, I'll choose not to send him to school. That's the option there. Like, we'll homeschool him. Like, that shouldn't, like, because I choose that I want my kid vaccinated. I'm not gonna choose for other kids' parents. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. I am anti taking choices away, man. Like, no, that's not cool.
yeah, because Biden said, if you employ 100 people or more, then either they get the jab or they get tested weekly, to harass you into
Yeah.
getting the fucking jab.
Sure.
And
Well,
so,
I mean, the testing weekly, I don't understand. I mean, that's not as bad as it was, though. You don't have to go as deep anymore. It's just swabbing your nose. It's not as bad as people remembered it from that first test, you know?
yeah, but it gets laborious like every week. You're like,
Sure, but so does work.
yeah,
Like, it's just another part of work. Like, quit being a little bitch. Like, what is it? Like, so, I mean, again, if you don't like it, don't fucking do it. It's not a job that, but I think it should be the employer's choice, not the state, not the government. If it's your fucking business, then you can run it however the fuck you want.
Mhm.
Know what I'm saying? Like, if I was running a Walmart, if I was running a McDonald's, those are franchise, right? So I own that McDonald's. That's my place of business. I should be able to mandate what the fuck they do. But it's McDonald's overall corporation, and they have to think about theirs. So they get to decide. Like, they're the overall owners. That I understand. But the state and the government doesn't have a fucking say to tell the employers of any McDonald's that they have to do this with their employee. Like, they don't want to do it, they don't fucking do it. The people don't like it, they don't get any business, they shut down. It's their responsibility.
yeah, it's simple. Like fucking.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, hey, you have to have your employees do this. Like, well, they're my fucking employees. Who the fuck are you? I don't give a fuck if you're, you could be my fucking business partner in this thing and sell me your like you help me build this business. And then you quit and I buy you out. And then you try and say, "Hey, we built this business together. You really should like do this so that you can keep it." Hey, bitch, you're out already. This is not your business anymore.
Mhm.
Back the fuck up, Like, I wouldn't take any advice at that point. Advice, yes. Suggestions, maybe, but I wouldn't let somebody tell me what to do with my business if they're no longer a part of it.
Yeah. So yesterday last night I saw the Walmart greeter hand masks to these two guys that walked in without a mask, and sometimes I forget the mask, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Texas, they don't mind.
Wait, you have? Yeah, I don't. I go into Walmart without a mask all the time. Nobody's giving me masks. Or is that a thing now?
I guess it depends on the Walmart because that's the
Yeah,
first
'cause
time I've seen it. So,
I haven't seen it. I mean, I'm vaxxed, so I usually just carry my card on me because
yeah.
I have it in my fanny pack, and I'm a fanny pack guy now. My man purse.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, if you don't like that they're forcing masks, then go somewhere
Carry
else.
the vax.
Yeah,
Or if you don't want to do either one,
but then
get shit delivered, right? Like, there are workarounds for everything, but then you don't want to have the money to. Then you don't have the money to pay all that extra for food to get delivered, for groceries to get delivered.
Oh, Prime is free shipping.
Right, but not everything's available on Prime, and it's not available to go everywhere either. Like, I remember when I wanted to start using the Amazon Marketplace. What is it?
Yeah.
No, where Amazon Market, I think, for
Yeah, where you
groceries.
buy groceries. Yeah.
Yeah, but like actual food, and they're like, "Sorry, this isn't available in your area." I was like, "Well, that sucks."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
and
was a year or two ago. I haven't checked it.
I think Walmart does. I know HEB for sure, but I think Walmart does curbside. Like you order it online, and then they go and they pick out your groceries.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can choose to tip or not, I think, right? Like you don't have to tip, but I think there is some sort of service fee there. But it's not much. Like get one less bag of fucking potato chips, you fat fuck. Tip your helpers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's an odd scenario to be in. It's just the problem is it's a growing pains issue. Like there's nothing to do here other than just keep your head down and keep trudging forward and wait till we get to the other side of this. Just like every fucking world war and every fucking pandemic we've had, and like the people that live during those times are freaking out the entire time. The people 20 years later barely remember it happened. So just remember that, if you live through COVID, 5-10 years from now, we're probably gonna not forget it, but it will just be another time in our life.
Yeah, but it makes for good fucking t-shirts because I've seen a lot of mask shirts having the COVID, the Rona mask, the face mask, fucking joke. Like you got a picture of, like you got a picture of Michael Myers saying fucking social distancing and masks since 1978, 74.
And I saw horror mask evolution is like Mike Myers, Frankenstein, old school
Jason,
shit.
Mike Myers.
Jason, Mike Myers, and then the COVID masks, like Halloween masks throughout the years. That was pretty good. That was a pretty funny one because that's how it was last year. If you went out trick or treating, all these kids had their masks on, or they had them on their head with the fucking medical mask on. It was like, that is line your mask with it, maybe. I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, kids can still go trick or treating because apparently the masks work. So wear the mask when you go trick or treating.
Well, wear a mask, wear gloves, you'll be all right.
Yeah, but nobody came to fucking my spot, probably because the fucking light in the corner never fucking works.
No, Frank, it's because they know you live there. They're terrified. You're worse than any Michael Myers.
No, because I'm standing outside, right, in my fucking, or the year before last year, I was standing outside like a fucking dumbass. Like, only the cars stopped by because they were driving by and, with their headlights, they see me, right, standing there with a big-ass bowl of candy. But then last year, I put it up on my Facebook. I'm like, hey, if you're taking your kids out trick-or-treating, hit me up so I can give you my address so we can do a drive-by trick-or-treating. Like, you
Are you still allowed to call things a drive-by?
Sure. You text that you're in front of me, right? That you're here, and then I'll go outside and I'll hand out the candy. I wasn't even handing it. I made little goodie bags. That's the thing. I made goodie bags so I can just show up and just give them goodie bags. But the only goodie bag I gave out was to the delivery guy because I ordered a pizza and I'm like, hey man, you want some candy? And he's like, well, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Here, happy
He doesn't want candy.
Yeah.
Stupid question. Of
course, I still have the candy from last year.
Jesus, I'd rather have cheese balls.
And it's
got a giant fucking cheese ball tin.
It's fucking expired, and then my parents are like, "Don't buy Halloween candy because we still have Halloween candy from last year." I'm like, "It's expired."
But what does expired candy taste like? Like I've never had bad old candy. I've had candy from like 4 Halloweens ago. I still ate it.
Some of these, like they taste like they should, right? But then the aftertaste, there's a sour milk aftertaste to it. And I'm like, no,
like the milk chocolates and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
and I'm like,
go hard candies and taffy, you're all right.
Yeah, I'm like,
the taffy will melt the fuck out. Like that shit either gets real melty or real hard.
Yeah,
still good though.
Yeah,
so up in the mouth.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving this to kids. And they're like, okay, so then you're not handing out candy. I'm like, the fuck, I'm not. Like, fuck. It's Halloween.
You shall not take this away from me, sir.
I missed.
This is my day.
Yes, I missed.
Deprive me from my destiny.
I missed every Halloween when I was in the Marines, and I told myself never again will I miss a Halloween or a Christmas. So damn it, I'm having fucking Halloween. You know, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like fucking last year, I was in my fucking Halloween costume waiting for people to show up. Nobody showed up, but I was in my Halloween costume, so I technically had a Halloween. But
Oh, is that what it takes for a Halloween? Just to be dressed in a costume?
well, yeah, because
I mean, aren't you dressed in a costume every day when you go to bed and put on your Spider-Man onesie?
no, one of my managers asked me, he's like, "Hey, what are you gonna be for Halloween?" I'm like, "I'm gonna be a Dairy Queen employee," and he laughed.
That was gonna be my joke when I asked initially, and then I was like, low hanging fruit. But I'm happy someone took it.
No, and he was like, "No, you should be Frankenstein." I'm like,
Frankenstein.
well, I'm gonna be dressed as a Dairy Queen employee, and he's like, "No, like be Frankenstein, but in your Dairy Queen uniform. That'd be hilarious."
Is what I've been drawing while we were talking here.
What is that?
I have no idea. Just
that looks like Pumpkinhead from
something like that, right?
Yeah, that old ass movie, Pumpkinhead.
Estúpido.
Yeah, so a friend of mine was telling me like that she doesn't know because she just moved, right? But she doesn't know if she's gonna get trick or treaters, and so she's just gonna have a vintage Halloween movie night, right? And I was telling her because she was.
What are the movie selections? Hold on. That sounds good.
Yeah, so she was telling me about her book, right? She's like, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And she mentioned something that I was like, "Oh, so you should check out John Carpenter's Vampires." Like that's literally the name of the movie. Like, you know, and she's like, "Yeah, vintage." And she's like, she gave me a list of what she's thinking of seeing. She's like American Werewolf in London and some other vintage Halloween movies. Maybe Van Helsing, Interview with a Vampire. What else was she saying? I think that's what she suggested. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, because another thing with vampires is like it's always changing. I want to say evolving, but I'm like no, because sometimes they change for the worse. Like with what's it called? From Dusk Till Dawn. Like I didn't like what they did with the vampires. Like their face changed so that they can be like monsters, I guess. I don't know. Right. And I'm like, why can't they just be people with fangs? You know, like keep it classic.
Well, that's not classic. Hold on, that's not classic. The classic vampire was a Nosferatu. It was like a decrepit, partially, partially decayed, sort of like emaciated because all the blood is drained out. They're like, they were a bit creepy, but yeah, I see what you're saying. You want less of a werewolf transformation.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even that. It was like they turn around, right, and they turn back to face you, and then they're all ugly, but they don't have fangs. They just have sharp teeth, and I'm like, well,
it was a limitation of the time to make them look decent. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we had True Blood where they had those special things where you push on the tongue and they pop out. Those are fucking sick.
Yeah, and now they sell them on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that. That's how I knew how they worked. I never knew before.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I should get that. And I did that one time. They invited me to a Halloween party, right? And they're like, you must come in costume, or else I'm gonna throw your ass out. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck do I wear? And I'm like, oh, you know what? I have these fucking glue-on fangs. I'll just put them on and say I'm a vampire. So I did that. I dressed in all black, right? Like fucking like if I was going downtown, to a club, whatever. And I glued on the fangs.
Oh, you were trying to be a sexy vampire. How
I was trying to be slick because I didn't have a fucking costume. So, so yeah.
I've done that a couple of times. I've gone like dressed as Noah from The Notebook because I had a plaid shirt and khakis and one of those old like floppy driver hats. I was like, I'm just Noah from The Notebook. I should just grab shit from my closet like every year.
Yeah. So then I walked into the party and she saw me and she was like, motherfucker. But her look said motherfucker, and then I just smiled and she saw the fangs and she's like, oh, okay.
It works. It worked. You did it. Good for you. Good for you. You pulled it out. You pulled one out your ass.
Yeah, because I had hair about your size, right? And
length.
Yeah, whatever. And then I just combed it back so it was slick. And that's usually the Dracula look, slick hair, right? But with the widow's peak. I don't have a widow's peak.
No, the Dracula look is the big titty hair. You teed it up into two big balls right here. Ah, 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 ah.
Yeah, you know, I really like that Coppola's Dracula. For some reason, I don't know. It's like it has to be like if I'm going to see a Dracula movie, it has
Well,
to be that
okay,
one.
so there's a point there. He is sort of transformed in that to be a bit, he's very pale because no more sunlight. He's basically anemic. So that there should be some sort of transformation from human to vampire. Can't just be a pretty fucking Twilight boy. Did you put glitter on your skin too, Frank?
No,
So you sparkled when the light hit you?
no,
Yeah, right. You did it.
no. Glitter is the herpes of arts and crafts. Like, come on.
What?
Yeah, glitter is the herpes of arts and crafts. Because you think it's gone, and then it creeps back up.
Yeah. Okay. I
You can't get rid of it.
I reluctantly give you that one.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it. You're playing with glitter. You're doing your decorations, whatever, and it's all over the place. So you clean it up, but you thought you cleaned it up, but then you're like, "What's that shiny thing over there?" Oh, it's the glitter. And then you got to take a wet rag and wipe that down. And then you can't get the glitter off of the wet rag. And
Hey, is that as big a problem at strip clubs? Because I've never been to strip clubs, really. So
Of course
is that
you haven't.
really a problem to have, like, do you come home with glitter all over you?
No, I don't think I've ever seen a stripper with glitter. Maybe one out of the many times I've been to fucking strip clubs. Because
Many? Have you really been that many times?
Yes, because when I was in the Marines, and this is very typical. Like when I was a fucking fresh out of fucking boot camp, new to the fleet. Like I was a regular for about the first 2-3 years. I was a regular at a strip club in San Diego called Deja Vu. I know all my fucking Hollywood Marines are like, fuck yeah, Deja Vu. But yeah, I fucking loved it because like first of all, it was fucking 18 and over. That's why I was a regular there. But no, because like it's that street, right? And then there's the strip club, and then next to it there's a bar, maybe cantina. I don't know. I was there once. I got fucking blacked out drunk. And then down the street, right, there's a Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm like, oh my God, you have a strip club so close to the fucking Chuck E. Cheese? Like, the fuck? That's like fucking Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Yeah, you gotta leave the kids somewhere while this single dad's gotta leave the kids somewhere when it's their weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got the kids
Morons.
play place, and then you got the adult play place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to go on that ride, Daddy. Me too, son. Me too. Oh, Jesus. What else we got going on, man? Do you ever hear the one about the deaf guy?
What deaf guy?
That deaf guy. You didn't hear the story about the deaf guy?
Oh.
No, he didn't hear about it either. But him.
Ha, 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 ha. I was like, this fucking guy really right now.
What?
What? No, because you're fucking. You say it's always been a thing, but I'm like, you're fucking dad jokes, man. And it's fitting because you're a dad. So.
No, yeah, but it's always been. I've always just been corny as fuck, man. It's like that. Did I already say it on here? I wrote a frog joke the other day. It's like you go talk about dad jokes. Like, did you hear about the frog who broke up with his girlfriend after he broke his legs? Yeah, his legs were broken. So after that, he was just real unhappy. That's why he broke up with his girlfriend. Also, like Kermit the Frog died one time in the 80s. Did you know that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but they were able to bring him back to life. They just need to shove a fist up his ass. That's less of a dad joke.
It's a cloaca.
A cloaca? The fuck is a cloaca?
That's the fucking ass end of the fucking. Because
puppet?
Yeah, no, the frog.
Like, how do you know that, you creep? What a cretin knows that it's a cloaca. You're like the guy that masturbates the frogs in beer What was that movie? Beer something.
No, because it was a joke on this thing I was fucking listening to, and then I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it so fucking funny? Like the guys couldn't stop laughing, so then I fucking looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. I'm like, it's not that funny.
Wake. I mean, it's somewhat funny. It is.
Yeah. So speaking of Kermit the Frog, I saw the Muppets Haunted Mansion, which is another Disney movie promoting a ride.
I tried watching that one. My kid couldn't get into it.
And I'm like, Kermit's voice is a little too deep. And then I'm like, oh, well, it's supposed to be because he has a nose piece for his costume. Like, okay. But then the movie kept going, and I'm like, no. His voice really is too deep to be Kermit's, a little too deep. Okay. And I'm like, oh, they replaced the Kermit guy. He's not the same guy anymore.
I think he died.
Did he?
Yeah, I think because it's the same thing. Well, it's like Seth MacFarlane doesn't do the voices anymore. I think it's just one guy that does all the voices now, isn't it? So all the voices are a little off, but they're all really good. Like he does a great job.
Oh, Seth MacFarlane for what? For like American Dad?
Family Guy? For Family Guy, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know. I could be wrong though. You know where I'm getting that? I'm kind of just extracting that information for myself from the fact that there's some really good fucking rap videos with like Stewie and Brian and all of the Family Guy characters singing like to Wu-Tang Clan and shit like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, check it out. YouTube Family Guy raps. It's fucking
Family
great.
Guy raps.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw Haunted Mansion. And I'm like, also message. I'm like, oh, we should watch it together. And she's like, no, because that fucking Muppet creeps me out. The Muppet with glasses and no eyes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a Muppet that wears glasses. It's the two fucking.
The little green one, the one with Beaker?
Yeah, the two little scientist Muppets.
What's his name? I know it's Beaker and Peabody. She doesn't like Peabody.
Oh.
Is it Peabody?
I don't know. I thought it was Peabody and Sherman.
Right.
No,
Bunsen Honeydew, like Bunsen burner.
Oh,
yeah, because they're science equipment. Beaker and Bunsen. Yeah. Graduated Cylinder was their cousin.
Also, that's what I was gonna suggest.
What?
No, yeah, because I was like, oh, for our Halloween episode, we should do it in costume. And I'm like, we should be the fucking grumpy Muppets that are up in the fucking.
This is our Halloween episode.
Oh yeah, this is our Halloween episode.
Are we gonna try and get another one up before the 30th here?
No, because I can't.
Good, we're at least an episode or two behind.
Yeah, because I can't. I can't find a fucking the costumes, and if I order them online, like. Come on, it's already too late to do that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna get here in five fucking business days.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe next year, like we be the old guy Muppets that are always fucking criticizing everything.
You ever seen Letterkenny?
My brother tried getting me into that, and I'm like, okay, it's not that funny, but okay.
Well, if you gotta give it time to breathe. I think it gets a lot better once they stop focusing on like the meth heads, because at some point they like get out of meth directly and they go into like steroids and like other like they're real funny fuckers. I think it's a great show, but it's one of those where like I could watch it once and I don't have to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
But Jacob, our buddy who was on an episode or two ago, is a huge fan of it. So we were watching it the other day and ended up saying like, oh, well, I could be that guy. Like we were already talking about setting everybody we know as like the entire cast. I would love to do that next year. Like just do a full Letterkenny cast, like, or just any kind of show where like all of us get together and like commit, just anything other than Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. None of that kind of bullshit.
No, apparently it's a millennial thing, but I'm like, I don't like Harry Potter and I don't like Lord of the Rings. Like it's just not my thing.
I like them enough, but I'm not obsessed about any of these things. Like I don't have time to get obsessed about movies anymore, I guess. I can't think of any movie that like I'm thrilled about. You know what? Men in Tights will do it for me occasionally when it pops up on TV. Because it's just so fun for me. I like the singing and dancing and the sexual innuendos. The Blind Man and Dave Chappelle, and It's fucking great. But hey, there you go. There's one last topic we could talk about. Did you watch the Dave Chappelle special?
Yes, and I don't see why fucking.
Oh, come on. I don't care. I don't want to talk about everybody else's opinion on it.
Oh, I don't
Tell
see
me yours.
why the trans community should be so upset. Like the guy was honest and he was open and he said it. He's like, look, this is the last thing I have to say about this. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. And then he was like,
But then he went on for the entirety of the remainder of the show. Like it was all about trans after this first half.
Yeah, well, he was telling the story of his trans friend, right? To show that yes, there is a human side to these people. Like they're not abominations. Like some people see them as.
Portray him as.
Yeah, and so then he ended it with what he ended it with, and then the trans community took that as, oh, he was being very transphobic, and then ended it with, but I have a trans friend. And I'm like, no, you weren't listening. And he says that. He's like, the LGBTQIA people don't listen. And yes, like all they're doing is proving his fucking point.
The
Like,
problem is you can't, but that's a very general statement that they don't listen. Like, no. The faction that you're listening to doesn't listen. I'm sure he's got like his one trans friend that he brought up. There are people who understand his point of view that are in the trans community. There are people that understand his point of view in the homosexual community. The problem is that he is specifically addressing them almost every fucking time. Every fucking time. He's calling this into his own fucking life in that regard. Like, stop talking about it. Nobody gives a shit. Like, at this point, he's just there like, what, you're just going to spend an hour explaining yourself? Where are the fucking jokes? Like, I get it. You have an opinion on this. We heard it the first half a dozen times. Like, I love Dave Chappelle. I've never not liked the special he did. I appreciate his style of comedy. He invented almost this whole other genre of comedic stand-up. But, like, come on, the broken record routine. I'm not, like, come up with new shit. I'm sorry, but like, this is the last time I'm gonna talk about it. Well, maybe you should have stopped talking about it the last time you fucking talked about it. Like, that could have been the last time. Why do you gotta fucking bring up old shit again? You're just, I don't know.
Well, because now he learned new things, and he's saying he's like,
Did he though? No, he didn't. Yeah. He just learned how he wanted to restate the same things in a more educated way. Fine, like he had it more hashed out after taking in the comments and shit. Like, he knew what he wanted to address, but we knew what he was gonna say. Frank, he didn't say anything you didn't expect him to say, right? It's not like he came out with anything like, oh. It was just like, well, yeah, no, we've heard that point made by other people, by yourself, by ourselves sometimes. Like, we all, either you share the point of view or you don't share the point of view. But either way, we all already know the point of view. Like, there's nothing fresh there. So I kind of washed my hands with it, man. I wasn't a fan of this one.
So what I'm hearing you say is that the conversation is old and he's late to the party.
No, I'm saying he already showed up to the party, had a good time, walked away, heard there was one person at the party that didn't like him being there, and decided to go throw a party to talk about that one guy that didn't like him at the other party. You know what I mean?
You're being oddly specific, but okay. No, because
that's how it feels. Like, he's put himself in the position where he's just,
yeah, because
that's just a position he put himself in. He's just like, hey Dave, we were at that party. Like, he invited all this, like, because the people that watch his special are the people that either want to criticize him or want to listen to him. Like, they show up every time. So he's talking to the same people every fucking time. It's not like he's going out into the street saying this stuff. He's throwing a giant special, selling tickets. The people that buy really expensive Dave Chappelle tickets really want to see him. They already know his point of view. They were at the last party where he got in trouble for talking shit about trans community. Now he's called them all back together so he can talk about how he got in trouble for talking about the trans community at the last. But like, it's just too repetitive, man. It's just telling people shit they already know.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
'cause
saying.
that's the thing about stand up. It's like it's there to push the boundaries. And he's
But
like,
it didn't push the boundaries. That's what I'm telling you. He drew a line and he kept riding the fucking line. Like, when are you gonna go further? Like, doubling down on the same joke isn't a new joke. Doubling down on a joke isn't going harder on the joke, like furthering the point of view or being wittier about it. You're just saying it again.
Mhm.
All this was the same kind of joke, the same jokes, the same ideology, just with stories, which isn't the comedy aspect of it. It's the filler info to get to the jokes. Instead, he's using the jokes as filler to get to his stories. Just not a fan. Not a fan of this one. Call me crazy.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'd have to watch it again with your perspective in mind so I can see what you're talking about. Because I'm like, okay, like that's everyone, but okay. I mean, if you say so.
Sure. I disagree. I don't think that's everyone. I think because you know what, you take Louis C.K., you take like you know who the other person who did this was the last time I remember this happening? Aziz Ansari. When he spent almost that entire fucking shitty special apologizing for the bad date he went on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, did he have to do it? You could argue that he needed to do it for the type of celebrity he wants. But did he actually have to do it as a stand-up? No. He could have never addressed it or did it like Louis C.K. Address it at the start of the stand-up, get it out of the way, and then move on to the real shit that you've been working on. Like, address it. Like, even with Dave, when he said, this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. And then I was like, oh, good. Okay. He's going to wrap it up and we're going to get to hear some real fucking jokes now. But we didn't. It was another 30 minutes of him talking about the last time he's going to talk about it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I like shit like you want to talk about pushing the boundaries? Bring Tom Segura on the fucking stage. Did you see that? I just watched his 2014 special for the first time. And this guy's going out there talking about like some insane shit, like really pushing boundaries. Like, man, I wish I could pull something off the top of my head, but I hate the idea of like ruining good jokes. So I won't do that. But like, even Joe Rogan, like, the problem is they expose themselves so much in all these other avenues with these podcasts and stuff that I don't know what Joe Rogan's going to come out with new next time we see a special, I'm worried that Joe Rogan might have shot himself in the foot with the celebrity he has because every point of view he has is kind of just known already, It's like, can you be that well known and still be funny? Still catch, not be funny, but still catch people off guard. And I think you can, but it's like Richard Pryor. At some point, you expected Richard Pryor. After the first couple specials after that, if he wasn't coming out saying, hey, you cocky white motherfuckers, like if he didn't come out like that, you'd be like, oh, what's wrong with Richard Pryor? And then that happened. He was in a wheelchair, had to be rolled out on stage. And he could barely talk the last few shows that couldn't really put together a decent set. And it just made people feel awkward because that's not the guy we know anymore. And if you don't adapt to who you are now and try and keep, it just doesn't work, man. You've got to keep pushing the boundaries. Not like, otherwise you end up a Jay Leno, like one of the richest people in fucking Hollywood. But like, if you're talking about his stand-up performance, he's been doing the same stand-up for fucking decades. Same thing with Seinfeld. Like, they're not pushing boundaries and they're successful at it. So I don't think you have to push boundaries to be a comedian.
Yeah, because Seinfeld's known as the clean comedian. Like all his stand-up, it's all clean.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but then, okay, fine. So you got a clean comedian. He still doesn't refresh his shit. Who is the Hot Pockets guy? Jeff something. Damn.
I don't know.
I'm going through too many names. I'm starting to mix myself up. But yeah, man. long story short, I was not impressed with the Dave Chappelle's new stand-up. Now there was one other one I wanted to talk about, Theo Von. Theo Von's new stand-up. I'm just a huge fan of him in like podcasts. He is so much funnier than that stand-up gave him credit for. And I think his problem was that he had this set ready to go 2 years ago before COVID hit. And then he didn't have a chance to do the special until recently. So he had some really old material, and it felt like it. It felt like it was good material at one point, but he got too comfortable saying it, and it didn't have as much like emphasis in places where it should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it sounded like too written out and not enough of his voice in it. Because if you listen to his podcast, man, he is one of the most insanely differently spoken individuals you'll ever hear as a comedian. Check out Theo Von, especially. I liked his last special. I like them both. I do like, and I like Dave Chappelle's special. I liked it. I'm just not a fan of its direction. It's Dave Chappelle. He doesn't fully miss even when he misses, but yeah, I just expected more. It wasn't his best performance. It's all about I got to say about that. So, anything you want to touch on before we let go here?
Not really, no. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the ride with the Chappelle show, but that's about it. Like, I don't see it to analyze his comedy or whatever. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I had a few laughs. Okay, cool. Oh.
Well, no. I wasn't analyzing his comedy. I was analyzing the response he had to the transphobic calling out that they were doing on him. Like, I don't do it. Yeah, I think he's just pandering to people that aren't his demographic. He's giving too much attention to people that would rather him fail.
Cool. So yeah, we're almost just about out of time.
All right, well, this has been another fucking episode of the Completely Inappropriate Podcast, everybody. I've been Anthony, along with Mr.
Frank.
Remember, you can find us at Completely Inappropriate Podcast at gmail.com, at CI Podcast on Instagram, at Completely Inap with 1P on Twitter, and wherever you find us, you found us. Good job. YouTube, BitChute. Do we do anything on BitChute anymore? Is that shut down?
No, I haven't vlogged in ages.
You should vlog a day in the life of a Dairy Queen employee.
No.
Why not? Come
Because who
on.
the fuck is gonna be interested in that?
Hey, you never know until you try. All right, guy. This has been terrible. What do you tell the lovely listeners?
Be excellent to each other.
Fine, you motherfucking happy. Try to be better today than you were yesterday. Right? He likes pie. He's kind of sly. Bye, Frank. I live it.
Okay.